been lifelong, but when you're a kid, the world is open. It's an open book. It's filled with possibilities. You can do anything. You can be anything, and that's how it is until you go to school and you learn that no, you have to conform to the rules of society. So all those mysteries, all those wondrous things that are out there have to take a backseat to paying rent, paying taxes, et cetera, et cetera. And when I was a kid, that was me. I used to watch shows like In Search of with Leonard Nimoy, and I was just fascinated. Every week it was something that engaged my imagination and made me think, when I get older, I'm going to find out the answers. I'm going to find Bigfoot. I'm going to find the Loch Ness Monster. I'm going to know why the pyramids were made. And it seemed huge. It was a Herculean task, but I really believe, yes, I was going to do it. And as time went on, you kind of get into the humdrum of everyday life. And upon leaving college, I found myself in a very skeptical position, and I had a crisis of faith. And when we started doing Scared on Staten Island back in 2002, I was the skeptic. I was the guy who didn't believe in anything.
Oh, really? So you were skeptic at the start, but your perception and views have changed since then, obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely. Terming myself a skeptic when we first started, it wasn't that not so much that I didn't believe, but I felt like all the explanations that people were giving weren't the correct ones. Like, there were rational explanations, there were logical reasons for things to be happening. So I wanted to discover those before calling it paranormal. And
yes, I see.
I mean, yes, there was a big aspect of skepticism for it, but in doing the work for all these years, there comes a point where if every experience is akin to a grain of sand, one grain of sand alone isn't very substantial, but eventually you look down and you find you're standing on and that's just sobering when you discover, wow, okay, I can't go back. I can't go back to that earlier state of being. I'm here now. Yeah. And that's where I find myself right now.
Yeah. So I remember you, because I remember you from the Haunted Collector with Johnny Zaffis very well. So when the opportunity of, when Kieran asked you to interview, I'd go for it. Yeah, by all means. Yeah. So it's great to have you on the show. It really is an honor. Yeah. How long did you do? Oh, indeed. So how long did you do? Because you've now subsequently left that show, haven't you? Is it no more now?
The show has ended.
Yes. So how long did you actually do the Haunted Collector for then? That
Haunted
time?
Collector lasted for 3 seasons.
It
was 30 episodes, 60 cases.
Is that all? There's 3 seasons. My God.
Mm-hmm.
GAC and TAPS just go on for infinity, don't they?
Yeah. They
Zach
do.
and the boys are still doing. Zach and the boys and Jason Horrors and Steve Gonzalez still going strong and still popular. Still, there's no wavering there at all with these shows at all. But only 2. Sorry, how many seasons again? 2 seasons.
3 seasons.
3 seasons. Sorry, beg your pardon. 3 seasons really. It seems longer than that. Because I check the endless repeats as well. I go back to them like GAC Taps. I check Johnny Zaffis. So I think he's a pretty cool dude, old Johnny. He's very revered and respected in the paranormal field, is he not?
Absolutely. John is known around these parts as the godfather of the paranormal. He's 4 decades into the work, so no matter how long you or I do the work, he's always going to be ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. He's my key figures I admire in the paranormal field as well. I really enjoyed those shows he did that time. So he's, like I said, he's a top-notch guy in the paranormal field. Then, yes,
absolutely.
Oh man! So what's his seeing as the show is over now after 3 seasons, like you said? What's Johnny's? I'm not kept in touch on what's Johnny doing now in the actual field of paranormal? Is he obviously still pursuing it in some capacity, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, John Zaffis you see on Haunted Collector is about 10 to 15% of what he does. Yes, he is the Haunted Collector, but John is better well known as a demonologist. So his contributions to the field, yes, the haunted items is part of it, but he's mostly known for demonology. And
I never knew
now that the cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren have really come to the forefront because of the Conjuring movies, John is Ed Warren's nephew. You even see in the first Conjuring, when they come back from the case, Ed goes into his little museum. He puts the object on the shelf, and I was watching that, and I'm looking. I'm like, hey, that's Haunted Collector. The old man got it from Ed, so it's very much a legacy, and he passes it down to his son Chris. And I've learned a lot from John. So John currently is just doing what he's always done, being a researcher, being a demonologist, being a fixture in the paranormal field.
So many feathers to his cap, Johnny has then, yeah.
Like a peacock.
Yeah, there's more to a lot of these paranormal investigators than meets the eye. I mean, a lot of people speak out there's some kind of hatred and rivalry between the shows as well. I get it online, and it's absolutely nonsense. It's been dispelled by Zach and Grant Wilson and all that, and they all get on. They get on like a house of fire.
Yeah, I mean,
great,
for the most
great
part,
friends. Yeah,
we're professionals. We're doing a job. We all have our shows, and if I'm in the area, I'll give Grant a call. If I'm doing something, I'm friends. We are pretty much all friends, or at least we get along because we're professionals. But for the most part, it's weird because the audience takes it so much more seriously, almost as if there's a local pride, just like whether you have a local football team or baseball team or over there.
You're in a particular tribe, isn't it?
European football. Once you put on that jersey, you are representing them for life. And if someone else comes along who is not on your team, there is a rivalry. And while in sports it's fun, I don't think it really has a place in the paranormal. At least it shouldn't, although we do see it does.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah, it's but that's just like I said. It's just this thing about the hatred and real fierce hatred and rivalry. It's a lot of it's camaraderie, a lot of it most of the time, and you help each other out, don't you? Of course. That's it.
When it's working the way it should, yes, we can network and help each other out. I mean, just literally next week at this time, I will be within your borders. I will be in the UK, teamed up with Sage Paranormal, doing my D-Day tour.
Oh, goodness gracious! Oh, really? I look forward to that. I'll check that online, and really, that's great. Nice to have you. Nice to have you over there. Nice to have you when you come over. That'd be great. Fantastic. That. Yeah. Have you investigated in the UK in the past?
Unofficially. I was over a couple of years ago for Paracon UK, and we did some locations. It was up in, where was it? Derby.
Oh, yes. It's just up the road from us. We're West Midlands, Birmingham way, and we've got Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire, Derbyshire, kind of East Midlands they are. So they're not really that far from us, actually. Yeah. Because we've got we're Commentary Warwickshire Paranormal Talk Radio, but we've also got to our string Commentary Warwickshire Paranormal Investigators. We're doing some investigating ancient battlefields here around the Midlands area. This coming April, I believe. So that's one of the projects we've got in the pipeline ourselves. That's really something I'm really looking forward to. We're doing Bosworth, where King Richard III of Shakespeare fame lost his life and lost the battle there against Henry Tudor, become Henry VII. So, and we're doing 2 Civil War battlefields as well. They're from the 1640s, Naseby and Edge Hill, hopefully. Those 3 are the 3 we're going to do anyway. So that's our pet project at the moment. That's something we're really looking forward to. We can't wait to get started, actually. Can't wait for the better weather and the longer hours as well,
Yes, so, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I told everyone over there, I said, look, I'm going to be there in a week. Tell the weather it needs to warm up and clear up a little bit.
Our weather is so ridiculous. It really is all. We're almost like, I wouldn't say, compared to America, with a Storm Doris pounding the UK, the UK this day, unfortunately. It's all over the country. It's absolute chaos. Lives lost, but it's nothing compared to what you guys have got. Hurricane Alley, I believe, and things like that in the central states and things. Is it Oklahoma? It's sort of hurricane country or something like that. It's really sort of you get it really bad, don't you? The East Coast and the Caribbean
East
waves.
Coast gets hit a lot. I mean, every
Florida
area,
wave. Sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah.
every area of the United States has its particular barometric and weather problem, whether it's earthquakes, hurricanes.
Oh my God, the energy, the
tornadoes.
Just thinking, I was thinking that I equate that with paranormal energy as well. That mass of water that just converges together, because water is also a good paranormal. It's good conductor of things paranormal as well, isn't it? A stream or a dam or anything like that, or a weir, isn't it?
Water is an ionizing agent, yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Been linked to actually both sides. I mean, look as far back as the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, tale that the horseman, the spectral horseman, cannot cross running water.
Oh, really?
There's things born, and even though that is just fiction, it's borne out in things where you will see activity by bodies of water that are elevated. So even now, they've been doing experiments with water to try to see specific properties of it, and they've encoded data in water matrices because it is so malleable. Even more so, they can make a hard drive using water. I don't have the specific technical data of that, but I think that's amazing.
It's incredible.
Water, and then our planet is covered 70%, 75% of it. So hey, we're in for some amazing things down the pipeline.
That's right. The spirits, so they can harness the energy of the water. They can thrive with that. I hear that from Zach and JAC. They did this kind of this kind of hotel. It was built over some kind of river or some kind of rockery around it. And a girl who drowned there. I mentioned this to another person who interviewed on the previous show. Well, the spirits harness the energy, don't they? I believe.
It's theorized
that. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, we do anything we can, any kind of experiment we can to try to increase activity so we can get better communication.
Of course, the array of tools that are on display for putting paranormal investigators. It's absolutely mind-boggling from years back. What's the tools that are available now to do investigations now? It's quite incredible. It's really a big business, isn't it?
We live in an interesting time because back when I started, we didn't have any gadgets that were dedicated paranormal equipment. It was all repurposing of existing things, whether it be in the construction field, electrical fields, things that are used to just detect anomalies or just to measure energy. Now, we have things that were specifically designed for the paranormal investigator, and it's very exciting.
Tailor-made, that's right. So the tools that are available are just the array of tools now is just absolutely mind-blowing. But there again, you don't really. I've been told digital recorder, digital camera, a few of probably another couple of tools, and you'd be all right with those IR camera, and you're okay, aren't you? You can do it like that, but you don't have to have a great array. You can have just three tools there, and it could do the job. Or it depends what specific you're aiming for. I don't know.
It really depends on what it is you're trying to do. Because I mean, for the most part, you can have a personal experience and not have a lick of equipment on you, and that's just experiencing the paranormal. However, if you're a researcher and you wish to measure it empirically, that you need equipment for.
It all varies because your body is a tool itself in feeling paranormal things, like you get goosebumps and all the energy and what you see with your eyes. It's a tool within itself, isn't it? Really, your own body. People don't think of it that way. That's what somebody told me. I never thought of it like that. Your own body itself, conductor.
Oh yeah. I mean, the body is an incredible tool. You've got your five senses, your sixth sense, your seventh sense, which would be common sense. And I
don't know about that. So it's lacking in quite a few people sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's something we need to imbue in more people.
Common sense. Oh, I'm working on that way. So kind of work progress at the moment. A lot of people, it's not as common as they say it is. Yes, seventh sense. Yeah.
Yes, it's becoming uncommon. It's common sense.
Sadly, the case, I'm afraid. I've lost my thread there. Because I got a digital recorder. A good friend of mine on Facebook sent me a digital recorder, the Zoom 1H1, I believe. I think one that Zach used, and it was just one of those pocket ones. the round ones, the round at the top, is it's the rounded,
Right.
and thin. You hold it, and I was actually I'd never used one before. I've been in EVP sessions around the local area. I was actually amazed by the sound quality of that gadget, and also compared to other ones, more expensive ones, I really couldn't tell the difference in the audio quality at all. It was paper thin. Honestly, there wasn't that greater difference. Probably the other ones had more buttons on it, more little gadgets. I don't know. I think it was the H2 one, the next one up from that digital recorder. But this one was absolutely amazing because I think musicians use them to record sessions and compose as well, and for recording purposes as well, I believe.
Yes, the H4 Zune is commonly used. I've got one of those, and it's amazing. You could set it down, and someone from a different floor or across the way could whisper, and this device will pick it up, and it's incredible in sensitivity. I haven't had much luck getting EVPs from it yet, but I feel that it's important to use many different types of recorders just because each of them, and if you want to get technical about it, each of them has different thresholds in the hertz that it records.
So it's best to keep an array of tools, digital recorders, with you, as depending what the certain needs you need to do with it. It all depends what you're actually looking for. Is it certain specific things? I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean, for the most part, we're still trying to figure out exactly how EVP works, and I mean, it's not a phenomenon because we know everything about it. We're just we're fumbling in the dark, essentially, trying to lock down something that's consistent, and it's not consistent, and that's the frustrating thing about it. You can do the same thing a million times, and you may get lucky or you may not. And the thing about it is, we assume now. If you break it down. EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. That's the recording of disembodied voices. Now, we assume more often than not that these voices must be coming from spirits. I've posited that perhaps it's coming from us a lot of times. You ask a question like, what's your name? Or how many of you are here right now? Now, the minute you ask a question that you know a parameter of answers. So when I say, hey, how many are here? Immediately my mind starts thinking of numbers. And when I listen back to that recording, I'm going to be listening for a numerical response. Now, just the fact that that's a condition, it's entirely possible that we might be picking up ourselves. And there's an experiment back in the 80s, 70s and the 80s, the Filip experiments in Canada, where a research group made a backstory and for this spirit named Filip, and Filip didn't exist, but over a certain amount of trials, Filip started to respond. So now, was that they conjured something into existence, or was that just coming from their collective thoughts?
Oh, so are you saying it could be projected, these voices? And
it's entirely possible. For the past 8-9 years, I've been doing something I call the psychic projection experiments. And anytime I do an EVP session at a investigation or I do it at a convention, I'll take 60 seconds and tell everyone gathered, all right, guys, we're going to do this experiment. And we pick a word, and for 60 seconds, we do nothing but think of that word. We focus on it. For the past 8 years, I've done this hundreds, almost thousands of times. I've gotten it to work 5 times, which is not a great batting average. But just the fact that it's worked at all means, all right, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah. So it could be the voices could be just we're projecting ourselves on our subconsciousness. You've asked the question. Is that what you're saying? Is that that's what you're saying to me? Is that kind of thing? Yeah. The experiment was that you were asking this question, and so our subconscious is people. That's come out somehow. That's from the deep in our subconscious of a living person, not necessarily a dead person. That could be a possibility. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, we don't know. Just the fact that
possibility
exists means that, all right, if spirits are speaking to us on this recording equipment, how are they getting their voices onto there? They don't have a body to produce a physical sound. the waveforms that are being created have to originate from somewhere. So perhaps that communication is psychic, and if that is the case, it is entirely possible for ourselves to be generating a portion of or some of those answers.
Not all of them. Some could be some spirits, but also that's another avenue to look down on. That's what you're saying, isn't it? That possibility, yeah.
I definitely feel that just because you get an EVP, you cannot 100% say, oh, it's a spirit. That's we're looking for the origin of what it is we're searching for. And for the most part, we don't really have any hard data for anything that we look for. I mean, look, we use EMF detectors simply because we haven't found any alternative, and there's nothing to prove that EMF is concurrent with spirit activity, other than it seems like sometimes it happens to be there at the same time. Now, is it because they're composed of it, or they're disturbing the EM field as they pass through it? Either way, imagine you were invisible. Yeah. And I'm standing next to a pool of water, and you walk through that pool of water, and you see the disturbance of that water. Maybe you might go, okay, something is happening with that water. I wouldn't assume that you are composed of water just because of because of that disturbance.
I see, yeah. Because they check for spirits. They do these lights all around the entire room to check for any kind of movement, any kind of something going in front of the lights, some kind of movement they look for as well. There's a massive light. I don't know what they kind of. Some kind of experiment they use to check for any kind of presence down there as well. They do that.
Lots of different things that we have to look into. And I feel as far as we've come, and there's a lot more of us out there looking now. Yeah. I feel we're a little bit stagnant as far as
you think so? Yeah.
Moving forward on methodology.
Yeah. But, and of course you've got the thermal cameras, you've got the ones with the stick men. That's my favourite. I love those. Little men just by them. Look, it's supposed to be beside you, Zach. What's that? I have no explanation for this at all. You know. That's is that like I said, is that proven to be? Is that reliable kind of thing to go by as well? Seeing these supposedly stick men, are they ghosts or are they just the app playing tricks? I don't know. You know.
You mean you're talking about that camera that tries to assemble? That was based off the Xbox Kinect system, and I think it's interesting. It's an interesting avenue to explore. However, my issue with that is that the software and the programming within the device is going to try to construct a human form. Now, who's to say that spirits will take on a stick figure form with a stick body and stick legs and arms and a head?
They're very small as well, aren't they? little diddy men.
I mean, it's an anthropomorphication of something that doesn't necessarily need to be so.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be in human form to take on that. It's just probably the app playing a trick on everybody. Yeah, it could be. It's interesting thoughts about yeah.
See, I never knew that could do that.
The minute that device detects an anomaly, it records and it goes, okay, I found some errant energy floating in the air. Okay, now that I've seen that, it's about 2-3 feet off the floor. That must be the torso. So boom, a stick will form. It's going to then try to extrapolate the rest of the figure. It's going to try to connect the dots to make that form. And that's the cart leading the horse. You know, that's not just reporting what is found. It's trying to make what's found fit. And that's where I take the issue.
Yeah, because a lot of them say they feel a cold presence out there. There's nothing there, and that stick is that stick man is in that vicinity as well. I've seen that on Ghost Advice, but there's no 100% certainty there's a ghost there at all. Like you said, it could be the app playing up, couldn't it? So.
But they never say that. They normally say, I can't explain it. But that I never knew about. So that's something new what I'm learning about.
They're pretty good, actually. Yeah, they're pretty good on that. Yeah. I mean, they don't say it's definitely is a spirit. I mean, Zach's pretty open on it. I like the way his approach anyway. So because he goes out to debunk things anyway. That's a good way to. That's a good way to. Good approach to take. That's the kind of thing that's the way I do it anyway. Debunking.
Well, see, when it comes to debunking, I feel like we're also coming at that backwards also, because to debunk you're trying to disprove that this can be a ghost. But when you're going into an investigation, that's almost assuming that there is a ghost there to find. So there almost doesn't need to be a debunking process if everyone's, I guess, bunking process is more on par. So whether you hear a noise or you feel a cold spot or your meter goes off, that's not indicative of there being a spirit there. You just have to say, okay, something happened. Something is here. Is it a ghost? I don't know. We can't say that just yet. It's not so much that you're debunking, you're just not jumping to those conclusions.
Well, that's right. You just sort of, hold on. There could be something there, but we'll just have to wait and see. And we see how things the evening goes. That's the way. That's the way it should be. But you don't jump to conclusions.
That always,
paranormal. Yeah.
The semantics of that always got me too, because when something is bunk, like, oh, that's bunk. Bunk is, hey, that's not what it is. That's not good. That's nonsense. So if you debunk it to make something not nonsense, that's almost proving it, isn't it? So if you would debunk bunk, you're making it good. So that always flipped me around.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's a good way of putting that. Actually, yeah. It's
That's the English major in me taking over from time to time.
Yeah.
Like anytime they say on TV, and you could tell who watches too much TV, because anytime they go, oh, that's Matrixing. I'm like, no, Matrix was a movie. That's pareidolia. There's a proper term for it. Use it.
They probably can't pronounce it and spell it to say Matrix instead, probably. I've never said Matrix in my life. Not yet. Well, after what you told me, I won't need it. It'd be pareidolia.
Good man.
Good man. I think I'll do. Yeah. That's the one. People see things that they'd want to see with some kind of rock structure or whatever, some tree line, and come to the conclusion, oh, there's a spirit, there's a face of a ghost there, and all this, and windows as well. I don't know.
Essentially, the device we were just talking about, which I can never remember the name of, is pretty much digital pareidolia. You know, it's trying to force the anomalies that it's detecting into a logical shape. And for us, you know, we used to do it as kids. You look up at the clouds and you're like, oh, hey, this looks like this.
Yeah, that's right. Especially that butterfly. It's a dragon. It's a whatever. What takes you fancy in the way imagination takes you, of course.
And here's for the bonus points for those people who are listening. There's an area of the brain that is dedicated to facial recognition. And as we were coming up as a species, it helped us identify predators by seeing eyes and constructing face around it. But that area of the brain still is intact. It's still in us. So that's why when we look at blurry pictures and we see faces in orbs and we see faces on dirty window panes, the area of the brain known as the fusiform gyrus is hard at work.
It's doing its job. Yeah. Oh, because we're still Stone Age. Although we're this modern times now, we're still in Stone Age bodies, aren't we? Really, I suppose we do. And the instincts, the survival instincts from those our ancestors are still with us to this day.
Although I feel with our modern conveniences and comforts, we've stalled the evolutionary train, because it's just myself. I know I would not be around were it not for modern conveniences. I wouldn't have made it too long. I am not the fittest. Although it was fun.
I'm trying to get back into it.
I forget what channel. I think it was Sky Network over by you guys. When Haunted Collector first aired over there.
Really?
I was ranked number 3 or 4, the third or fourth fittest paranormal investigator. Of course, Zach was number 1, but I was on the list too. So
go me. There, number 1. So you're pretty not far behind old Zach. That's not too bad. So it's pretty good. Yeah, it's we're still sedentary lifestyle. That's right. We're still there because when they're on an investigation, I find people they're more aware. They're on edge and tenterhooks, aren't they? Everything. Their senses are seem to be overacting, don't they? So they're anticipating something's happened, I suppose, on investigation. I mean, you see people. They feel like they've been touched, and what's that? All this, all their senses seem to be on overdrive. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think, and again, it really depends on what it is you're trying to do. If you're a skeptic, everything could happen to you. A spirit could come up, hand you its ID, say, "Hi, I'm the ghost of George Washington. Nice to meet you," and you will not believe it. Yet someone who is inclined to believe will hear a noise or feel a breeze and attribute that to some spectral visitor.
Yeah. It's probably just a cobweb or something like that.
You know what it is? I always tell people it's best to take yourself out of the equation. In my lectures, I call it the water in the glass. And it's all perception, because your perception is fallible. It's how it's everything that you are as a person colors your perception.
Yeah.
But that's not fact.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that is not fact. That is not truth. And as paranormal investigators, we are searching for truth. And sometimes the truth is, well, there's nothing here. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that the investigators are doing anything wrong, or they're like, "Oh, we didn't get anything. Oh, this place sucks." No, it just means, okay, well, you have to be neutral. You came, nothing happened. Okay, there was nothing. Perhaps there was nothing to find. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or the place is not up to par. It's just, sometimes that happens.
Some people have great expectations, want everything to happen at once, EVPs and full apparitions, all this, and they're just a bit of a down and nothing happened at all. But it's just the way it goes. I mean, these shows, you think they're having EVPs and seeing ghosts every week, but you've how much filming and traveling they do, and there's times where they found absolutely nothing at all. It's just condensed down into a show, isn't it? So,
absolutely. I mean,
that's right.
You know as well as I do, most of paranormal investigation is sitting in the dark, bored as hell, with nothing happening. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And it's just what you have to get through. It's like if you went on safari and you're looking to see a lion, okay, you might go to where their habitat is, but who knows if you're going to see one?
That's no guarantee. That's
no guarantee. And we know they exist. It's proven. So, it's the same thinking.
It's like movies in general. You think all these exciting movies, you think probably a lot of these actors are sitting around doing a 5-minute part and sitting around again for another, God, how many hours? It's very similar to that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a lot of sitting around and waiting. It's a waiting game.
Yes, a lot of waiting.
But you see the finished article. You think it's so slick and polished and all the action and we see all the finished. We see the finished article, but the process of making it is long and arduous and damn boring at times for the people participating in the show.
What I've been doing today, what I've spent most of my time doing today, I've got a lot of backlogged video of investigations that I've taken with my group. And back in 2012, we investigated this place called the Knickerbocker Hotel. And we felt that really nothing happened while we were there, so we never released it. But I figured, you know what? Let me cut it together and put in some of those just scenes of nothing happening to offset all the TV shows where there's something happening every 5 seconds, and people complain about the TV shows. But if you want to see a real investigation, more often than not, you're not going to see very much. And I'm editing it together. And again, I'm thinking, maybe I should shorten this. Maybe I should jazz it up. Maybe I should have the cuts go quicker. And then I go, you know what? That's the TV shows. I was on one. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it my way. And
the reality, folks.
It's probably going to be slow. And it's funny because if you go onto YouTube and you look up the scared videos, you get all these comments that say, oh, this is slow. Oh, this is boring. Oh, Jack would have found it. And I'm thinking, well, this is an actual investigation. This is a documentary.
This has acted it as well. Like everybody else, like Taps and Jason and Steve Gonzalez and other teams and across the country. It's the same for everyone.
Oh yeah. I mean,
no
each one of those cats,
guys, the little guys, little guys. That's right.
Each one of those cats will tell you that it's not as flashy as it is on TV. I mean, sometimes the moments that it is, it's great, but it's punctuated by long stretches of nothing.
But I suppose you see the sites, and you go to historic sites as well. There's those bonuses as well. I mean, you're going on location, aren't you? So.
I've been to places like Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, and there's a lot of history there, and people have reported plenty of stuff. I've never really found too much in Gettysburg, and
Really?
I know that's not a problem with the location, just maybe hasn't happened to me. But
That's right. Yeah.
the bonus is, all right, even if I didn't experience anything paranormal, there's plenty of history. There's plenty of living history. There's constantly things going on that you can come away with. And I mean, when I'm going to be in the UK next week, I can't guarantee activity. I mean, sports and the Explosion Museum. So I can't guarantee anything for anyone, but I know that when I go there, it's going to be interesting for me because A, I'm going to be in England. B, I'm going to be at the sites that were integral in the planning of the D-Day invasion. So I'm going to come away with so much stuff, even if it's not paranormal.
Oh, there's not to gain in the way. It's not necessarily in the paranormal aspect of things. That's right. Indeed. That's why I mentioned the location can. You can soak up the history side of it as well as because of course history and paranormal go hand in hand anyway. Did you've heard of Chris Holton of Haunted Earth? He does history paranormal videos. I've been following him now for very popular online. Following him now for about 5 years now, Brian. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting man indeed. Yeah. It's interesting how he's progressed. How his style has changed in his videos since he started in 2006.
Oh, that happens. I mean, if you look at some of the early scared videos and then you look at the ones that we produced a couple of years ago, in my interviews, in my methods, things change. And it's weird because you might watch that video that we did 12 years ago today and compare it to something that was done last week, and you'll think, oh, this isn't as great. But again, our progression had to originate from somewhere. So I look back on my old videos and I go, ooh, I don't believe that anymore. But, I had to start somewhere. So I'll stand by it.
It's a learning curve. It's progression. You see how it's nice to look back, see where you've come from to where you are now, isn't it? Sort of, that's a good way of doing it. It's fascinating. I've seen Chris's early videos now, and not other people as well, how he's changed his style of presenting and filming and narrating, whatever, has not so much of the rating, has changed over the years. It's quite a remarkable pattern, actually. So, he's still going strong. He does a lot of sort of history and investigation at old churches in his area and all that. And he's been abroad as well. He's done investigations in America as well. And he's some really, really. He's got a great back catalogue of stuff there. I go back and look at them time and time again. Some really good stuff. That's the kind of thing we like to do. We try to film our investigations and put them on there as well, so what people think, make their own minds up whether it's paranormal or not. That's what we intend to do. That kind of thing. Eventually start that in that kind of that way.
Excellent.
Yeah, you got to start from somewhere, like you said.
Well, if you're not changing and growing, you're probably not learning anything. So
that's right.
If I were to do things the exact same as I did when I first started, if that were the case in 15 years, I probably wouldn't have recognized it. But talking about it now, I'd be disappointed. I wouldn't have come as far as I've come.
And some people say, we prefer the way you did this, and it's like music, like groups change. Oh, we like the way you were, oh no.
Yeah, like they want to hear the same old song. But you could complain about. I remember, like back in the 90s, Def Leppard changed their sound and they did something experimental, and it was amazing. But people just wanted to hear "Pour Some Sugar on Me" over and over again. So eventually they went back to that and they said, "All right, that's what you want. This is what you're gonna get."
That's right. It's like Bob Dylan when he went from acoustic to all electric. There's a big outcry. Oh, we want the acoustic stuff, Bob. Whoa, we don't want this electric nonsense. Purists, just want to stay stuck in the groove.
and yet, if the artist never changed, they would be pegged as, their music all sounds the same. They have no range.
Stagnation, just stuck in the groove.
Yeah.
It's good that people should progress. You should be just standing still. Totally agree with you. Yeah, it's interesting as well. I find as well comparing what they used to do and what groups paranormal investigators do now. Their videos from years back, what they're doing now. Yeah, it's there's so many groups that put their stuff on there as well. There's an array of Honestly, because I was into the paranormal myself for a long time. I thought I'd use their Facebook as a vehicle for my passion. There's got to be all these groups out there. I was just overwhelmed. It's like an whole world just opened up for me online on Facebook. Yeah, just incredible. All these groups, and I met Chris 5 years. Chris Holt, I've haunted her 5 years ago. Zach and the boys and the Taps crew and all that. They're just just come across these guys online. It's a fantastic experience. What have I been missing all these years? I just wish I did it earlier. This is about 5 years ago. This is 2012. So it's a great vehicle to channel your passion for the paranormal or any hobbies on Facebook. Yeah.
I mean, even getting into it now, that means, all right, back when the explosion of this information first occurred, you wouldn't have had as much as you have now. So getting into it now is good because you have so much more information available to you.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's right. Things have come a long way since then. Even a short period of 5 years, even in a year, it's just how things, technology-wise and things in general, just move on so fast. It's breathtaking. It really is, indeed. Yeah. Oh, can we just check out? You've got any guests? How many people listening in, Kieran? Hello? Kieran, are you with us?
Yeah, sorry, I'm with you.
Wake up, man. Where are you? Where I want you? Wake up. God damn it, dear boy. How many guests, dear boy? Have you got any people in the chat room listening in or want to come on and talk to Brian? No?
Not at the moment. I'm getting someone on now. Give me a few minutes and I'll sort that out.
Can I just give the number? Sorry, Brian. I'm sorry to stop you there. Can I just give the number out to anybody who possibly could be out listening there? Or,
go on, Mark.
The number, to all those listening out there, to contact Brian on the chat room, the number is 657-383-1761. I repeat that. That's 657-383-1761. How's that for a presentation? Oh my God, I'm never going to do that. I've been practicing all day for that. Sometimes I get me nervous though online. I said, what am I going to say now? I'm just trying to relax more. How long have we been doing this, Kieran? We've been doing it about a year, haven't we? Kieran, are you with us?
Yeah, sorry about
anybody
that.
There?
No.
There's going to be a paranormal theme. Is there anybody there? You are with us. We've only been doing. We haven't even been doing this about a year. This show. This was Kieran's baby, so it's relatively new to us. So it's quite an experience in itself. Getting hands-on involved, not just looking at everybody else what they do and talking to people, guests like yourself. We'd like to have Nick Groff and Zach and Jason Hores and Steve Gonzalez on as well eventually. That'd be great as well. Yeah. Well, I know Brian. I know yourself, Brian, from the Haunted Collective. What? He's coming on. I can't believe it. It's great. It's a real honour to have you on the show, Brian. It really is. It is indeed.
Yeah,
it really is.
Definitely.
Excellent. Thank you.
And we have big names like yourself and other people across the paranormal sphere as well, big small groups alike. So it's quite a broad sector, broad sense really. All walks of life come on our show. So we share their experiences with us, tell us how they go about things, and if we can give hints and advice to budding paranormal investigators. So use our radio station, blog talk radio station as a platform. By all means, yeah. So I say, it's good. It's a good platform like that. Sorry, excuse me.
Well, it's good when people are involved.
Yes.
Because it seems like a lot of times everyone is on their own individual island, working independently of anyone else, and it really takes all of us. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but last October we did something called the world's largest ghost hunt.
I did hear about that.
This was in conjunction with National Ghost Hunting Day. Here in the States, it seems like every day there's something like National Cupcake Day, National Black Cat Day, and there's a committee that decides, what gets to be an official day. And this couple, Bob and Maria Schmidt, had petitioned the committee to have a National Ghost Hunting Day to honor all the investigators that are spending all their weekends doing this thing. And when I came on board, it did get passed. It got ratified that yes, in America there is a National Ghost Hunting Day, and to celebrate it, we figured, all right, let's have everybody do one big hunt. And I said, you know what? If we're going to do this, let's take it a step further. Forget just America. Let's get everyone in the world involved. So we had 70 teams across 4 continents in 5 countries.
Good Lord.
Simultaneously doing this 2-hour experiment, and I called it the bridge. Yeah. Now, the concept of the bridge is, all right, if 52 weeks out of the year, you have groups here, there, and everywhere running around doing their own investigations, but they're independent of each other. If this one weekend for this 2-hour segment, we were all on the same team, asking the exact same questions at the same time, perhaps we can raise our vibration. Maybe we can tap into some collective unconscious and actively use it to make a clearer connection to the other side and have better communication. We had 2 teams in Australia, a team in the UK. We had a team in Colombia. I think we had a team in Argentina. It was amazing. And if nothing else, even if the experiment didn't raise that vibration, I mean, it's very hard to calculate. For those 2 hours, we got teams from across the world to work together. And I think that's an amazing accomplishment.
That is incredible fate. That's really a fait accompli. That really is quite something. I heard about that. I thought, they'll never do this. And it was very successful indeed. No doubt you'll be doing this kind of thing, this experiment again, no doubt, in the not too distant future.
We are going to be doing it again, I believe, in September. But
excellent.
I keep going on Facebook Live to say this to people. I said, you don't need to wait for an event to work together. You don't need to wait for me to say, all right, guys, it's time to do this, to reach out to other local groups near you, or to reach out to other people and say, hey, let's do this. Let's do this together.
Yeah. If anybody can make it happen when they want to, just believe in yourself and go for it. Yeah. That's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. I just wish it wasn't. I hadn't thought somebody had thought of that before. Actually, absolutely fabulous conception. That, more of them, please. Yeah, I love things like that. Paranormal marathons, just parafests and wonderful, and lectures by some prominent paranormal investigators, people like yourself or Johnny Zaffis. Does Johnny go back to Johnny again? Does he lecture? Or does he lecture about his experiences as well? So people, is he?
Oh, absolutely.
As well, yeah. And there's people.
Absolutely.
I can believe it. And there's people out there loving it and going to his seminars, no doubt, and enjoying it and thoroughly control what the things of his experiences he's had and sharing them with him, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top man indeed. Oh, indeed. So no more Haunted Collector, but it's nice to look back on the look back at them, and I can't believe it's only how many three feet. Oh my goodness! It seems like there's more than that somehow. It's I look back on them time and time again, and I never get tired of them. So I always like to sort of just go back and check. Maybe I can hear some evidence with the headphones, and maybe they missed something else, missed something out. Like it's.
Because it was a TV show. Because it was a TV show, they had to cobble a storyline together based off of what we had, and sometimes we had amazing evidence that wasn't used because it didn't lead anywhere. It didn't come to a result. It didn't come to an end of the story. And I mean, it was amazing. Definitely some incredible things happened.
That's what I always do. I was sort of like for Chris Holton, going back to Chris as well. I sort of listen out for anything he might have overlooked in like the audio. That's possible another EVP or something that wasn't came across. He'd missed out. But I've sort of not come across anything yet. Maybe he's that expert. He's probably thoroughly checked the audio and everything there, what he's discovered, I suppose. But you never know. You never know. It's just something I do. I like doing anyway. If a chance I might miss something out, an EVP, and I pick it up by chance and go and tell them. Just a notion to do. It's something keeps me off the streets, I suppose. But, so when you were over again, sorry, in England. Sorry, could you say that again? Could you just refresh us there again?
Yes,
Right,
I'm going to
sorry,
be coming over actually next week for
really?
my D-Day tour. It's going to span from March 3rd to March 8th. Going to be investigating 3 separate locations that were instrumental in the D-Day, in the planning of the D-Day invasion. And
D-Day
those
tour.
3, the 3 locations are on the 3rd. I'm going to be going to Fort Horsted in Kent.
Okay.
Then the next day, I'll be at the Explosion Museum of Naval Firepower. And then 4 days later, on the 8th, I'll be at Fort Woodley in Portsmouth.
Fort Horsted. Yeah, that rings a bell.
I'll be there. There are going to be investigations as well as little mini lectures. I'm going to have some merch there. So if you want to come pick up some scare DVDs or Haunted Collector merch, I'll be there for that.
Excellent.
And I'm also going to try to fit some sightseeing in as well.
Oh, do please. Do indeed. Oh, enjoy your stay. I hope you have a great time. I really do. That's Horsted. That rings, I think GAC investigated there, didn't they? Fort Horsted.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm so busy doing my own things.
Yes,
but there are still a couple of tickets available. So if you go to www.sageparanormal.co.uk, you can get your tickets.
Excellent. So I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. Yeah, I hope you have a great time there. That's so next week. That's something really you're really no doubt looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I can't wait.
Because we're. So what I do is I sort of do I investigate. We investigate our own patch locally, and there's old Ford crossing near me that goes back centuries. There was the main road to London one time. That's where the horse and carriages used to go down. The road's only so wide, and it's been there centuries, 400 or 500 years. And that was the main road to. That was the main road, like I said, to London. I just hope one day to probably do an EVP session out there, and probably you never know what comes up. Because I think there's a snag. It's a snag there in wildlife and this and that, noises and all that. Is there? That's the risk of say investigating outside, say in the wooded areas and all that.
There is, but at the same time, I feel like you can never completely control your atmosphere unless you are in a vault that is completely devoid of all sound. But as long as you sit and spend some quiet time before you start the session and you get accustomed to the sounds that you will hear. And if you're outside, it might be crickets, it might be the wind.
Yes.
The EVPs you're listening for should never be mistaken with those other sounds. And I'm a self-admitted EVP snob. So if it's I don't consider an EVP. If the EVP goes, "Hi, I'm here," yes, that's
definitely, yeah. I'm thinking like inside he's hidden bumps, cracks, and this and that, and sometimes you an unearthly cry, and it could be just a fox. People have never heard a fox before.
What does the fox say?
Sorry.
So that's it's something else.
The banshee, like I would have many years ago, the people heard the cry, an unearthly cry of a fox, and they probably thought that's some kind of the edge of a banshee or something like that. And that's probably what they think. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. They probably where the ledge of the banshee may have come from. This.
Yeah, you never know.
This woman, she screams out you're going to die and all this. If you hear the banshee cry of a banshee, something horrible's going to happen to you. You're going to die or something, isn't it? Something like that, isn't it? What a pleasant creature she is. Yeah. Yes, that's the legends of the banshee. That fascinates me as well.
Plenty of the legends that we have, for example, like vampires. Those came from very rational explanations that at the time we had no idea about. So, it's definitely worth it to look back to those old legends to see, all right, what's truth and what's just fascination.
That's right. It could be a mixture of both as well, can't it? So. Yes, but I love vampire stories and all the legends as well. It's just great storytelling. Just on a Halloween night to scare the living daylights out of everybody. Not something you tell the kids before you go to bed. Before they go to bed, though. It's not recommended. Exactly. No, not recommended. Wait till you're a bit older. Yeah. I love the Halloween, the dressing up and all that. I go as far as that, but I wouldn't give them the EBGBs before they go to bed. That's got to write your own bedtime story. No, so it's going to be a nightmare story for you. No, that'd be child cruelty. That would be. But all these legends are just mythical creatures. You got like some banshees, vampires, werewolves. You know, you got to. Do you think about werewolf? It's just you've got to think there's elements of truth in some of the what these legends. You know, these.
Well, there's probably some kernel
yeah.
of truth at the heart of everything, but just think of it this way. It's not like the human brain. It's not like man has evolved so much that we don't kind of do the same things. And just like people today, you'll go on a ghost investigation this weekend. Yeah. Someone will hear a noise and think it's a demon. That's a throwback to the Dark Ages. So just because those stories survive and persist doesn't make them truth.
No.
So it's very possible that someone back then heard something or saw something, jumped to a conclusion. There was no internet. There was no fact checking. It was word of mouth. It was oral history. So
that's right. Handy from generation to generation.
Perfect example that you could take from right now.
Yeah.
I might go to Fort Horsted and someone will go, "Oh, a woman in white was seen in the upper battlements." Ooh, woman in white. I've heard of that. And automatically now, subconsciously, because everyone has heard of the woman in white, I'll give that, well, not me, but you'll give that more, you'll give that more weight because I've heard of it, so it must be true.
Yeah. There's just a woman in grey, a woman in white. There needs to be these ghosts everywhere.
There are things that are out there now that don't necessarily need to be truth, but they're so embedded in okay, perfect example.
Yeah.
And this is a pop culture reference, and I'm not sure if it'll translate to UK so much, but if I say the name Richard Gere, what do you think of?
I think of the movies. What's that bloody film now? I forgot that film used to be in the. Kieran, help me out. Richard Gere.
Well, actually,
what's
this
that?
is good. This is already
Richard Gere, the film. The film
already the example is off the rails, which is good.
Officer and Gentleman,
That's good for Richard Gere because for the longest time there was the rumor of a hamster and certain things happening, and that was the only thing that you could think of when the name is uttered. It doesn't mean it's truth. It just means there's that rumor. Rumors aren't truth.
Yeah. Because when you said Richard Gere, Officer and Gentleman, that was looking.
That's good. That's Actually, I'm not going to perpetuate that rumor. If you don't know it, I'm not spreading it.
That's what comes to mind when you said, what do you think of Richard Gere? And I thought, that's that film, was it? Officer and Gentleman. I go straight away like that. What the hell's it? I just went blank there for a minute. But that's would come to mind usually.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
That's him. That's him. Good for him. Yes, that's what comes to Richard Gere. That's him all over. Just that. Film,
Mothman Prophecies was another good one.
Yeah. Oh, he's been in many good films, of course, before, as well. He did some with Julie Roberts as well, wasn't it? Pretty Woman. He was
yes, there was that one.
Fine actor. Oh, indeed.
Good. I'm glad to hear he's getting that good reputation.
Oh, yes. Oh, indeed. He must be getting on now. My goodness. Oh, I love it because mentioning celebrities. A lot of these paranormal shows have had the odd celebrity guest here and there as well. Was it Chaps had Meatloaf, I believe, one time, and I think the Ghost Adventures that have had celebrities on there as well. Was the lead singer of was it Motley Crue, I believe, at Las Vegas. They bedded down the Frank Sinatra suite, I believe, and so that's before they knocked it down, I believe. Very interesting. Nice to do the different theme with the celebrities now and again. I think it's great to do that, to expand like that. Do you think so, or is that not your cup of tea? No.
I kind of didn't quite hear the question in all of that.
Oh, were they onto the paranormal shows where they have the occasional celebrity guests on an investigation?
Right.
They Taps and JC and all that, So Motley would, I think. Sorry.
Do I think that's a good idea or bad idea?
It's a good idea. I think I like it. I don't know. What's your view on that? I don't know.
It's entertainment. The TV shows are entertainment. So when you have Meatloaf on Ghost Hunters, and he's just so thrilled to be there, and he's like a kid in a candy store, and he's just so excited about the process. Where like, all right, Dave and Steve are just like, okay, this is another day at the office. Meatloaf is just over the top, And for a lot of people, we would be Meatloaf in that situation. And you get a lot of people who can identify with that.
Yeah.
And it's great to see a celebrity reduced to the common man. And we never had any celebrities on our show, but I know there was a few of them that were interested. I mean, if it had fit the show, we probably would have, but it never fit.
Well, there's no right or wrong. It wasn't the genre that you wanted. That's fair enough. There's no right or wrong. It's just everyone's got their own particular style of doing it. That's what they're in their shows. That's the way things are. Yeah. Oh, it's like I said, before this statement of the show. It's for entertainment purposes only. They really emphasise it when they have their stars on now and again. It's great. Just now and again do that. I like it. I like it anyway. Yeah.
Mark.
Meatloaf. But tell you what, Meatloaf. I must say, I remember that show very well. He was a natural. He was quite a good with asking the questions as well. He was really on the ball with the questions. I thought it was natural. I thought it was very, very good indeed. Actually, I must admit. As well as a very talented singer as well. Oh
yeah,
totally. Oh, it could have gone that team. Could have gone on the Taps team any day. I thought it was did very well indeed. I must admit. Yeah.
Mark.
Hello,
Mark.
I'm having fun here. Come on.
We got a guest. Sorry, I know a call in. Her name's Anne. That's my mom. She wants to ask a question. She's on live now.
Go for it.
Go on, Mom. Speak.
Speak, Anne. Brian's all yours.
Oh, she's gone shy. Where is
maybe
she?
she's psychically projecting to me. Wait, hang on a second.
I'm getting starstruck.
I'm tuning in.
John as well, you know. I'm very starstruck. I do get nerves down again sometimes. I think I panic on what I'm going to say now. I'm not as bad as I used to be there, but still not quite. It's just practice and just usage, really. Yeah.
Oh, where is she? Come on, you on? Mom,
Nope.
yeah.
Come on. He's here. Brian is all yours. Brian J. Cano is all yours.
I bet she ain't got a wires connected properly. No.
No, that's the way to talk about your mom now. Come on.
And silence.
Tell us from mute. Tell us to put a name in and just press the button on the dial and click on, and there should be in. Is she in? Is she actually in, or just there's some kind of audio issue?
In.
Oh,
I'll just ring it out to make sure all the wires in correctly. Carry on.
Right. Far away, Anne. Kieran's mum. Far away. Brian's all yours. Anne, where are you? Come out wherever you are. Don't be shy. Oh, it's not Talk Blog Radio playing up again. Oh.
No, Anne?
No, Kieran's mum. Looks like it.
I suppose Kieran's mom decided to listen to another broadcast.
A rival? How could you? How treachery with the Lancashire. Treachery. Infamy. You'll never talk to your mum again now, will you? Kieran. The first caller. That's the first caller, actually. We've had people listening in, but never actually... I'll guess, anyway. Don't worry, we'll come back to Anne.
Yeah, we'll swing back around to Anne, and we'll get to Anne.
No.
I hear voices.
I hear her very low. Like this is like an EVP. This is like a Class C. Let's.
A Class C EVP.
It's very low. He's got to listen really carefully.
A Class C EVP on our show. Our very first EVP, and it's on our show. I cannot believe it. So much for the digital recorders, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's a microphone settings. I think he's got a low quality microphone setting. But carry on.
Headphones. You got headphones?
No. I think she's got a low mic.
Okay.
Low one. That's why.
Yes, I know. I've got a good pair. Yeah, these are. I've got a good pair of headphones here because I won't buy any cheap ones though. But
I think you've got the cheap version ones.
I used to buy cheap. Never again. Never again. I always buy. You pay for what you get in the end. There's so much in that. So much truth in that. Right, I've lost me thought the thread now.
Sorry about that.
Is there any other projects in the pipeline, Brian, that you haven't told us about? Is there other things you got in mind?
Right now, lately, I've been doing just a lot of lecturing and a lot of appearing at conventions and doing events. In the interim between Haunted Collector and now, I created a paranormal card game called The Three Pillars. It's a lot of fun. I'll be bringing that with me over.
Excellent.
And pretty much what I've been putting forward is less of a show and less of a series of appearances, but a way of thinking. Yeah. And I call it Paralosophy. It's a mashup of paranormal and philosophy. I want people to do less and think more.
Yes.
Right now, everyone's running around trying to do. And I think, well, what are you trying to do? There's so much that we need to learn first. So think more, do less. And essentially, I stole that from carpentry, the measure twice, cut once axiom. And I feel like, instead of worrying about how, we should be thinking about why. And that's why, that applies to going into people's houses to investigate. That applies to why do we use the equipment we use. That applies to why are certain locations seem to have more activity than others. There's a lot of questions that still need to be asked before we worry about getting to the answers.
Posing the question why instead of how, that's a good approach, actually, an original approach, and less than saying how. I go along with that, yeah.
And all this, if you went to my website, www.neverstopsearching.com, there's all the different aspects of the things that I'm into.
www.neverstopsearching.
Neverstopsearching.com.
Neverstopsearching. Excuse me. .com. Yes, got that down. Yes, I'll take that out. Thank you very much for that. Thanks. Brilliant.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. Why instead of just the how all the time? Yeah. That's another way of looking at it, I suppose, isn't it? Just another approach.
Yeah, because like we were talking about equipment before, and we're talking about EMF detectors, and there's like 4 or 5 current ones that people are using. But why? Why are we so targeted on EMF? Maybe we're missing. Maybe it's axioms. Maybe it's other particles that we should be looking into. And we're so worried about the how. How do we make a better EMF detector that we're not considering the why? Why do we still use them?
Not we moved on to another approach, another way of looking at things. That's right, and move on. Just not be stagnant and. Yes, by all means, be innovative, innovation and perseverance. Yeah, by all means, yeah. You can't just stand still. That's just.
And I know a lot of people don't want to it's very difficult because it comes down to the difference between an idea and beliefs. Like right now, we've got ideas. Once you hammer down a belief, it becomes very hard to change because people are afraid to say, oh, well, I don't believe that anymore. So if we focused more on it's okay to do a 180. Like once you get more information, you're allowed to change your way of thinking to reflect the incoming data. And that's just being a good scientist.
Flexibility. That's right. I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Yeah. Oh, indeed. Yeah. That's that approach, by all means, yeah. Be stuck in your own. People be stuck in a lot of people are stuck in their ways, aren't they? Their own ways, and don't change. Don't welcome it. Don't embrace it at all, do they? So,
change is hard,
though, isn't it? Yes,
change is hard because think of it this way. If tomorrow you found out that EMF detectors were pointless, all right, you've got all this money invested in all this equipment. You're like, oh, great, this is useless now, and it's scary. You don't want to abandon everything you've done, but there comes a point where it no longer serves your purpose. You have to move beyond it or do the 180.
Yeah. Oh, indeed. That's well said. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there. Yeah. I mean, oh God, so just think of all the. Well, I'd take your philosophy there. I totally. What do you think, Kieran? You agree with Brian here? Yeah. With what Brian said. Kieran, you with us? Kieran, come back to me. I need your help, boy.
He's gone into the nether region.
Hello. What do you? Where you
He's gone to find Anne.
Pay attention to the boy.
No, I'm paying attention.
Pay attention to the boy. Where you been hiding? I bet you having a quick, crafty beer somewhere, haven't you? Beer somewhere.
No.
Do you think? What do you think of seriously? Brian's philosophy there, his approach. His approach there to the paranormal. What he's mentioned there.
Oh,
do you agree with that?
Yeah. I'm learning a lot tonight because different groups get different stories what they say, and tonight we've got Brian on. It explains it more better and say how it's same like with earlier on with the Xbox and with the Kinect and stuff like that. I look on a paranormal group on Facebook, and he uses all that type of equipment, and they can't understand why, but he don't give an explanation. But tonight, now I know the other side of things about using the Kinect and what the downfall is. So
I'm learning all the time. I'm enlightened now. I'm enlightened all the time. I'm learning all the time. But it's different. You've enlightened me a lot tonight, Brian. What your approach. I never thought of that because that's the one way of looking at it. I thought, well, you really enlightened me tonight, and
well, that's what I try to do. I mean, anytime I lecture at a college or I go to a convention, even if the people don't agree with me, that's fine. I want them to leave with questions, even if they think it sticks with them for a day, a week, a month, and they go, all right, and then they use that to alter their own process, and then they come back and perhaps alter my process. It's a back and forth.
Oh, right.
Yeah, definitely.
At least leaving your lectures with something. They've gained something. Even they're not agreeing with that. The questions there in their minds about it. They're still thinking about mulling over what you said. And it's left an impression with them. Am I right in saying that? That's what you want, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, because I want people thinking more and doing less. If I leave them with questions that perplex them and force them to wrestle with what their preconceived notions inform them of, then I've done my job.
That leaves them wanting more, I think.
That just leaves more questions.
More questions, exactly.
I'm a beginner at all this and the paranormal.
I'm a novice. I'm a little kid. I am. I'm a starter.
No, seriously, I'm amazed tonight how much Brian's come out with and stuff. And I'll probably go back on this and the recordings and listen to it a bit more and study what Brian's been saying and do a bit of recap and stuff like that.
Review your present thinking and see. Oh, that's another approach I never thought of. And that's really made me think. Really, a question in my mind. I just kept there, and by all means, it made me think more about things as well.
Same like for a new beginner like me. Do I need to go for the more expensive stuff, or do I keep it as a cheap version? Just get your normal camcorder, infrared, tape recorder, your EMF and stuff like that, or do you go over the board and buy the top expensive and get all that?
Or do you need to, really? I don't know.
I don't know.
Again, it depends on what your goal is. Now, just because you buy an expensive piece of equipment, it doesn't engender you with the experience to use it. And if you do buy it, I suggest that you know everything about it inside and out before you even attempt to bring it into the field. And there's a bell curve. When you first start, you don't know what to do. You're poor. You don't have a lot of money. So you have cheap equipment or not a lot of it. And then you start to gear up. And you show up to investigations with cases and cases and cases of equipment, and you're so busy with that stuff that sometimes you miss the personal experiences. And as you get older and more experienced, you find, with me, all I need is an EMF detector, my digital audio recorder, and maybe a camera of some sort, and that's it. That's at max. And you don't need a lot of, you don't need to be Batman or Iron Man with all this tech and gadgets to investigate the paranormal. But if you have it, hey, that's more data you can collect, but it's not entirely necessary.
Because there's basic equipment there, and you could come up trumps with evidence. Well, with some tangible evidence, as opposed to all the guys with the gadgets. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would you go out with protections though if you went on a haunted location? Do you protect yourself or not protect yourself, or what do you reckon?
I don't always as much as I should. Back when I first started, I didn't at all because I just figured, all right, there's nothing to protect myself from. But these days, I go in armed as best I can, and there's different methods, and it's all based on your personal beliefs on what can protect you. There's no such thing as a bulletproof vest. There's nothing you can hold or wear or bring with you that will completely protect you without any shadow of a doubt.
Rosary beads and crucifixes and whatever, holy water. People always bring these along, don't they, to investigations as
some people do.
Don't they? Yeah. I respect their views if they want to do that. If they feel they're comforted by these sessions that they got. Fair enough. By all means,
I mean, it's important to consider those things that are intangible, like protection. If you want to say a prayer or say something beforehand, or even when you finish the investigation, be it a prayer or a ritual or something that you say, look, I'm closing down the session. Thank you very much. And you're not allowed to follow me home. Something as simple as that is something, and it's better than nothing.
People fear attachments, don't they? The thing will come home with me. I'm thinking of that famous GAC episode. Always comes to mind. Bobby Mackey's. Oh my God! I think was it Aaron and I think Aaron and I think they all had experiences, bad experiences afterwards. I believe. Bobby Mackey's. They actually revisited it.
I went to Bobby Mackey's last year. I had a great time. I didn't get possessed. None of my attendees were dragged into the 7th level of hell.
Thank God.
That was my experience. So it's one of those things. They had their experience. I had mine. But people watched the shows, and for months before I went there, I was advertising this event. And anytime I said, hey, I'm going to Bobby Mackey's, someone would go, oh my God, there's demons there. Be careful. Oh, really? Are there?
It's got a bit of a reputation. Old Bobby Mackey's. It most certainly has. The thing I tell you what, that's what I love about the American shows. It's introduced me all these wonderful places like another one is Lizzie Borden House and things like that, and the what's the hotel and the Goldfield Hotel, and is it Nevada, I believe, and things like that. It's introduced me to all these wonderful places, these haunted places. It's just that's the great thing about these shows. Introducing me to all these things as well. These venues I'd never heard of before. Now that
definitely plenty of great locations.
Oh, indeed, it's a very haunted place. Although the Americans say we got the history of them. There again, I say you got a great history as well, and you got some tremendously fascinating haunted locations as well.
Well, it's one of those things when people say, there's a lot of history at this place. I always laugh because there's history everywhere. It's not like time was elapsing in one location but not in another. It's just famous history is what they really should be saying. Like, these are things that you might have heard of, whereas there's history everywhere. Since the beginning of time has been progressing.
What we said 5 minutes ago is history. Well, I said that's history. It's history, isn't it? Yeah. It's not just exclusive to certain grand locations. Every location, regardless if big or small, has a history. And it doesn't have to be one of the grandest places to have a fascinating history either. It doesn't have to be a castle or some grand hotel either, or whatever.
Exactly. It's just dig a little bit, and then you'll probably find.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
Stories just as fascinating as the ones that the famous places have.
An old abandoned mine shaft. Something happened there years ago, where some tragic, some fascinating stories or whatever events happened there. So even something like that. That's I don't know if you remember. I remember this. I just thought of this clip now. This I don't know if it's genuine or not, but damn scary. This bloke. I don't know. This American guy. I think it was a mine shaft in Australia somewhere, and he investigated that. And he had his audio running, and he was commentating on it. And as he got closer, he could hear all these whispering kind of noises. Then it would stop and start again. I don't know if you've actually seen that clip, Brian, on YouTube.
I don't recall seeing it. No.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's genuine. I don't know. Damn spooky. You just hear all these kind of cacophony of whispers, and they were getting louder and louder. We're actually near him as well, and suddenly they stopped and started again. Then he went no further, and then decided to leave. That was it. I don't know. That's whatever that is. It's damn creepy. I'm out of here. He goes. It was sort of like people were these spirits, what they were, shouting, and it was absolutely just taken over. And it was very loud, these whispers. But to those spirits, if there were spirits, they probably were shouting. I don't know. They would stop and start, and I think he had enough and left. He didn't say they were ghosts. I don't know what that is, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm out of here. I tell you what, I don't blame him either. If that was a genuine video, that is. I'm not saying it is or not, but you've got to be very careful not to say, "Oh, that's paranormal." I'm very subjective now. No, I never used to be. I used to take it as gospel that everything was paranormal. Now that my perception now has completely changed now in that respect.
Yeah, it's a constant reevaluation of the things that we think and we assume is truth. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, I think a certain way today, which is a lot different than I did 15 years ago. Yeah. 15 years from now, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I
laugh now. Look, I laugh when I look back. I used to think every video, real ghosts, real this and YouTube, real this and that. I used to take as gospel. Oh, there are ghosts in there. No. Now I just do everything with well, yes, well, maybe not all, not at all. You know, it's completely. You know, oh no, what's this? Oh, sorry. I must cut yourself off there for a minute there. I've been fiddling around with my mouse there. I didn't realise. So a box just popped up there, so they leave the show. I was like, what the hell is that? I just got to turn it off. Sorry about that. Oh yes, it's a progression, isn't it? It's a learning curve, isn't it? It really is. It's fascinating learning curve of that, I must admit.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing, fascinating field there. It really is. And they say there's no exact science and this and that, and everyone's got their own versions of this and that, and their own philosophies and ways of thinking and all this. And that's what if that's the case, even more. So I'm fascinated, drawn me in. You know, it really has.
It's an amazing field that we've chosen to get involved with. Lots of that. You know, the thing that I think most people love about the paranormal is that, you know, when we first started this interview, I mentioned how I was a kid and I loved watching In Search of, and, you know, it made you feel a certain way.
I used to watch it myself.
So many people are bogged down in this just humdrum, generic, you know, just going to work, paying taxes, driving, commuting. It feels like life gets gray. But then you introduce the paranormal and the potential and the possibilities, and it brings people hope. It makes them kids again. It makes them go, well, you know, there's something greater out there, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is out there. There's a bit of colour in the life, isn't it? Sort of that brings a kid out of them again. A kid out in them again, in adults. Yeah. Oh yes, indeed. I think I've never grown up, so I'm still a big kid at heart. So. Oh, all those shows you mentioned, I loved Leonard Nimoy's In Search of. I remember them very well. It's like the mid to late 70s. Fascinating. The late great Leonard Nimoy of Spock.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
Great actor. Great actor. Totally logical.
Mark.
Yeah, hello.
Mark.
Totally logical, Kieran. Sorry.
Brian.
Sorry,
I had a question from one of the fans saying, if you can answer this, Brian, he had a dream about a dog that died, and it turned into a human figure. Could you, if you could? explain that? Or?
You're spinning that, if you could.
So wait, they had a dream about a dog that died.
Their dog what died and like turned into a kind of a human or something. They were saying.
In the dream.
What could that be? Yeah, in the dream. Yeah.
Did they have a pet that passed?
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
excuse me.
People are coming to it, but animals have souls as well. So we actually, I was just part of a book called Tales from the Other Side, Pets and the Paranormal.
Yeah.
And it goes into stories about people who have had visitations by animals they've had, and I even had one myself where my cat died in 2015, and the day his ashes came back to my house, I had a very vivid dream about him coming to me, and I never get such dreams. I never get such things, and it just happened to be on that day, and I woke. It was so vivid that it woke me up, and I looked at my clock, and it was 3:15, and it seemed like there was so many things that were coincidental about that I couldn't ignore it. So
that's nice.
It's one of our precepts that spirit can communicate very easily through dreams.
And my dad comes to me
with animals, that's true as well.
Oh yes, no exclusive a human trait. It's like I said, animals are souls just like us. So, indeed, that's very much so. Yeah. Well, I've had my dad come to me vividly, my late dad, in my sleep as well. It's like he was just looking at him there, telling me off, do this, do that.
Yeah.
Give me some advice. I wake up, and it was so, it was like he was in the room with me. It's weird that. That always happens around not always the anniversary of his death, any time of the year. I mean, his anniversary is now coming up this May. He died May 2003. It's so vivid. Is it him and he's come to me? I don't know. Is it just my vivid imagination? Just a dream, full stop. I don't know.
Well, it comes down to this. I mean, I have a lot of people who ask me about things that are very personal, the things that have to do with families, and they'll ask me, "Is this real? Is this?" It's kind of irrelevant, because if it made you feel better, if it had meaning to you and it was important, I'm not even a part of this equation. I don't need to verify it for you for you to know that it had impact on you.
Oh, indeed, yeah.
And that's I think the important thing. I mean, for anything else is academic.
Yeah,
it's not like I could ever prove it or disprove it.
You can't. Was it a dream? Was it? Did my dad come to me in my sleep? I don't know. That's right. But it's comfort.
Either A,
comfort. Yes.
I mean, either A, it was a genuine visitation, or B, it was your psyche doing something to help you cope. But either way, it was what you needed, and it was what happened.
It's comforting and reassuring. That's what gave me hope. It gave me
right. Exactly.
He's still, whatever it was a dream or not, I felt, he's if it is a dream, him coming to visit me, he's okay in a better place. And if not, I'm still thinking about him in my subconscious. He's still with me. He's
what a great dream to have. Either way.
Oh, indeed, yeah. I wasn't scared either.
Good.
It's just weird how it seems so like real though. It was just there in the flesh, looking at me, telling me off and giving me advice. I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, so vivid, and he's come to me quite a few times. Now I did have some kind of, I don't know. It may have been nothing there in the room. I don't think it's anything to do with my dad. I think it's probably something separate. I saw wispy greyish smoke at the foot of my bed one time. It disappeared, and I thought maybe it was the lights coming in from the window. From car lights coming into my window, I thought maybe it could be explained away, but the curtains were drawn at the time.
Oh, hey!
I have no idea what it was. I did see something, a wispy greyish smoke, and it's disappeared into the wall. Hang on, I don't smoke. Another smoke, and where's this coming from? I saw something, and I thought, foot of my bed. I'm looking at the spot now. In fact, it gives me the creeps now. I've no idea. I'm just not saying it's paranormal. I'm just a bit questionable. What the hell was that? There's something there. There may be something in this house for all I know. I don't know. But it's not. If it is, it's not a threatening presence of any kind. No, but I've no idea what that was. I really don't. And that's no lie. That's something I did see something like that. Some wispy grey smoke. It could be explained away, but. My God, that sort of. I wasn't scared though. That's what the thing was. I thought, what the hell was that? Then I just thought nothing of it and went back to bed. The lights were on at the time. I left the lights on. This is my imagination playing tricks on me. I don't know, or maybe I did see something. I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence on that anyway. But I saw something that is either imagination or I did see something. I don't know.
You know what it is? We take that back to classic Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas Carol, and Ebenezer Scrooge originally attributes his visitation to maybe it's a bad piece of meat or some pudding or something, some indigestion that's causing these spectral hallucinations. That's and right. Either way, whether it was a bad dream or he was visited by spirits, the man changed for the better. So I think to have these interactions, if it's serving a purpose for good, hey, that's great.
Oh that's a good way of putting it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Another spin on that. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, not see it as like a negative thing, right? It could be see us. Yeah,
because not everything is demonic. Yeah.
Oh no. A lot of the
people... And also we introduced a classic on the show, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This is for those of you who've never read, pick up a book and read. It's amazing.
Classic ghost story. That is brilliant.
Yes,
it's the best ghost story ever, period, I think. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, I remember as a kid, we did the Christmas Carol, painted all the scenes when they visited by the spirits. And not just that, other scenes in the Charles Dickens play as well. We painted them individually. People had their own ideas. I did quite a few then. I was not bad painting those days. That was many years ago. But that was fascinating. Fascinating to love it. Love it to bits. Never tire of that. Was it Jim Carrey did the cartoon version, digital cartoon version of that some years back, didn't he? Jim Carrey was the voice of Scrooge, I believe, wasn't he?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it was very good in that. I had a great Mr. Scrooge, indeed. There was quite a few actors in that, some well-known actors. Very good, actually. I think it was Walt Disney, but it's all digital. As opposed to the old-fashioned kind of cartoons.
Right. I mean, there's been plenty of versions over the years.
Oh, indeed. That's one I do remember. That's one of the most recent one. Yeah, great story. Love that. But going back to what you said again, this is if something positive, whatever it's a visitation or a dream, if something positive comes out of it, so be it. Then there's something gained from it. Yeah. Oh, indeed.
Mark, 3 minutes. Brian.
I've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 months before this show explodes, how many guests do we have out there? Like Mission Impossible, isn't it? 3 months of kaboom. There we go.
3 minutes remain.
2 minutes now, my dear boy. 2 minutes. No more. And before the show is no more. And that's really a silly accent now. The thing is, I hurry because we had long periods of the show where we run out of things to say, and the show was, although paranormal theme was very serious at the start, it was going too much to the comedic. We're getting really silly because we've exhausted this avenue. We were running out of things to say, so we went down the sort of comedic avenue, and we went too much that way, Brian. You know what I mean? You can get carried away sometimes. I've kept it to a minimum tonight. It's been very good. I've been very well behaved tonight.
Well, it's a good balance. I mean, it's good to crack up and it's good to have fun with it because there's got to be that balance because sometimes it just gets too serious.
Well, I was going too much the serious way, but then I was going too much the comedic way. Now I've sort of struck that balance back again. Hold on, Mark, please. It's going to be a paranormal show. Yes, it can go down there. It can go off the rails, so to speak, now and again. But we don't. Nothing scripted here. Like I said, it's all off our heads. And on occasions, I sort of freeze and what am I going to say and all this. On occasion, if I think about things, I've tried not to. I try to relax and just talk to like I talk to you in my front room or something like that. That's how I do this. Anyway,
there you go.
Think about doing it. Yeah,
that's the way.
Oh, indeed. And we've got 1 minute 29 seconds left. And it's been great having you on the show tonight, Brian. It has indeed. And you're always welcome to come back anytime you want.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Next time, hopefully, it'll be much better at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Thank you for your patience that time. And you didn't. I would have understood if you'd have got impatient and went off somewhere to do some other things. But you were very patient and you're very patient about it all. And
this is my pleasure.
Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
So just got less than a minute now. 50 seconds now.
Okay.
50 seconds. So there's that call to action where if you guys want to, the listeners want to follow me, find me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at Brian J. Cano. If you want to check out some my previous adventures on Scared or just anything that I'm doing, go to my website, www.neverstopsearching.com. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Haunted Collector, go to blogspot.brianjcano.com. And that's it. That's me.
You've got it all in. Well done, Brian. Well, you got it all in that time. Wow, well done. That's a good plug there, and in such a short frame of time as well. Well done indeed.